What's up, Team Huckhouse? Johnathan Buckhouse here, and today we are doing another resort review. Now, this is a video series where I go to a new ski resort, I ride it, have a sick day, and then I sit back here and I think about it and I'm like, how sick was that day and should you go? So I break down that resort through 10 categories, each category having a ranking from 0 to 10. So 0 is not applicable, they don't have it at all. 1 is terrible, 5 is average, and 10 is best in the world. Now at the end of those going through those 10 categories, we put it all together and we give it a score from 0 to 100, and that score is ranking it against Colorado ski resorts, against East Coast ski resorts, Minnesota, Wisconsin, hills. Like, we're putting all of them in the same resort system and finding out who is this ski resort for. Should you go to Minnesota for a trip instead of going to Colorado? Is it going to save you money? Are you going to be able to ride what you want to ride by going to one of these other ski resorts than like the big names? You know what I'm saying? So like, let's jump into this. Let's figure this out, because maybe the sickest ski resort in the world is right next to you and you didn't know about it. So let's jump into the resort review. But before we do, make sure you check out the resort map. It's a map of all the ski resorts in the United States, and all the green ones are the ones that I have gone riding to. I have a goal to ride every resort in the US, and this is how we're going to track it. So if it's not green, you know I'm coming to your resort. But if it is green, click the little green icon, guys. It's going to pop up the videos at that ski resort. So if I have gone to your ski resort, you can watch the videos there, but also the resort reviews there. So it's really sick. It's a tool. Check it out. Plus, it's fun to see how many ski resorts there are in the US. It's kind of mind-blowing. Now, the mountain on the chopping block is Gore Mountain in upstate New York. It's a pretty awesome, pretty big, one of the more popular New York mountains. So we're going to jump into it, and the first category we're going to get into is lift prices. Now, I was actually kind of shocked at how expensive a day pass was at Gore, coming in at $105. I only say that because that's kind of closer to like Colorado prices, and this resort's on the East Coast. It has a lot of nice things to it, but I thought the price was a little high. But we're comparing it to just average ski resorts, and so I did give it an average rating, $100 or a little over $100 for a day pass. Is very average in the ski and snowboard industry, especially out here on the West Coast. So I gave it a 5 when it came to lift prices. Lodging. Most resorts will get a big fat goose egg when they don't have lodging. Like Gore doesn't have lodging. There is no ski in, ski out lodging at Gore. There's a bunch of lodging around it, but I did give them a 1 because on their website they do have a lodging page which helps you pick lodging near their resort, which I think is, if you're gonna put that effort in, you deserve something, even if you don't have ski in, ski out lodging, or just, you know what I'm saying. So they got a 1 for lodging. Now, ease of access. How easy is it to get to Gore? We're going to get there. We want to ride, especially if we're going to come on a trip to Gore. And it's a little tricky to get there. It's an hour and a half from Albany, New York. So if you're coming on the trip, you'd be flying into Albany, then driving an hour and a half to get there. As well as there's not a lot of huge cities. At least, I mean, I don't know if they're huge or not, but from what I saw, it was kind of by itself. And when we drove in, it felt pretty secluded, and like there wasn't good cell phone service around, and there wasn't a lot around. It felt kind of to itself, and you know, I mean, you are driving in the mountains, so I gave it a 4. I just felt like that was a very, to me, a lot of these ratings come from feelings. I thought 4, ease of access, it just felt right. So I gave them a 4 for ease of access. It's not terribly hard to get there, but it's not easy to get there either. But why does all that matter if they don't have sick lifts? I cannot believe that an East Coast ski resort, actually so many East Coast ski resorts, have gondolas. That blew my mind. I thought gondolas were like a thing for the West Coast only, but the East Coast is full of gondolas, and Gore had a gondola, which bumped up their chairlift score a lot, because I don't think they technically needed one, but they had one for you guys, and every chairlift they had was sick because it took you to exactly where you wanted to be on the mountain. A lot of them were like 4-speed, high speeds. They were sick. They were definitely sick chairs. And then they had this little like platter for a park that was like tucked behind one of their main buildings. So the park had a specific little platter so you can get hot laps in, which was really cool. So I gave them a 7 when it came to lifts. I definitely thought they like crushed the lift game. I was like not complaining about the lifts at all there. got up the mountain super quick, got laps in, it was sick. However, you have all these sick chairlifts for like meh runs. Now, they had some fun runs. They were kind of steep. You could definitely get some carbs in. The snow was really good that day we were there. But like the trees were so tight, you couldn't get in the trees and rip any trees. They did have a bunch of fun side hits. But overall, the runs felt a little like you always were wanting some more. I just wanted some more. There was like, this is sick. I just want a little bit more, and it wasn't there. So they got a 4 when it comes to the runs. A ton of fun. Screaming groomers. You can definitely get really good at ripping turns and just riding groomers there, but I just felt like for the mountain and how big it kind of felt, the runs just always had me wanting more, and it just wasn't there. But the terrain park did not let me down. They had an absolutely sick terrain park. It was very creative, a bunch of fun features. They had a bunch of weird side jumps and then some like butter pads, and then the rails were fun and clean and up-to-date rails, which is nice to be not riding really old grandpa rails. They were like every rail that you would want. They had like the railroad tracks. They had a pretty solid big jump, and then in the back area they had this really cool progression park that was like had some creative features in it, but mainly it was like, yo, you want to learn how to ride park, start here, then take those skills and go to the main park. And it was cool that they actually built that. It wasn't a weird spot, but it was there for people to get good at snowboarding, which was super sick. So I gave him a 6 when it came to park. Above average. Gore has a pretty super fun terrain park. Now we're ripping around, we're gonna get hungry. How's the food? And they have a very basic like food court, food area to eat. They got a 5 for food. Nothing incredible, nothing special. It's just average resort food. Now employees, and I always mention this in the resort reviews, but we don't cover snow conditions because it's hit or miss. I went to Gore Mountain, an East Coast ski resort, and it was almost a powder day. We were getting fresh snow the entire time we were on the East Coast, which was sick. We were getting fresh turns, soft snow, but it's the East Coast, it's the ice coast. It should have been icy, but it wasn't. So I don't cover snow conditions because it's hit or miss, you never know. That being said, we do employees instead. And how are the employees? They were very average throughout the whole day. No one was making or breaking the trip, and this is why we cover employees, because you can have a bad employee which ruins your trip, like I had at Keystone Ski Resort. If you want to check out that video right there, check that video out. It is pretty ridiculous. That ruined my day at Keystone. However, you could have an employee that makes your day at Keystone or anywhere you go on a trip. So that's why it's important to have an employee score. And so like the employees were very average that day until we ran into the park crew guys that like dabbed me up like, dude, the videos are sick. And they were just cool dudes, and they were rolling in like a squad of like 12, which I never rolled a squad that deep. They were just vibing, having a good time, and I could just tell that they were a really awesome group of guys, and like the park crew had a sick park and they were ripping it. And so like I'm gonna give them a 6 when it comes to employees, because they were super awesome guys. You know, I know the vibe I got from them made my day better. So boom, 6 for the employees. Now views and scenery, I would wanted to give them a higher score for the views and scenery, but I was really tough on Buck Hill's views and scenery for only having like just a tree view and it not being sick. And Gore had a very similar view, and it was kind of a cloudy day we were there, but also all of the stuff that I reviewed and looked up, like Gore's views just kind of come in a little lackluster for how cool the mountain is. So I gave him a 3 when it came to views and scenery. You're not getting the sickest views when you go to Gore. The best views you get are actually of riding Gore. You know, like going over the chairlift, going over some like gnarly rocks. Like you get these really cool old chairlifts still up, and like that's cool. But like everything else around you is like, it's not. And the last category, the would I go back, because that's important, because if I wouldn't go back to the ski resort, why would I recommend it to you? And I gave it an average 5 on the would I go back. Like, yeah, I would I go back, but there's not this feeling of like, dude, I gotta go back to Gore, and there's not this feeling of like, I ain't going back there. So an average of 5. Like, would I go back is kind of a feeling score, and it's sick. I had a great day there. We actually had a really good day there. Would I go back? I don't know. Now, before we tally all these scores up and give you guys the ultimate score of what did Gore come in with the ranking, let's mention who is this mountain for. But before we do that, we gotta mention traveling is pretty expensive, and I'm going to go to every resort in the United States. So if you want to support this dream, you like what I'm doing here, consider snagging some Evolution merch. We got obviously the snowboard version of the Evolution, but all the skiers out there, hashtag ski gang. I got the ski merch for you. It's on the t-shirts, the hoodies, all of the merch that I sell for the snowboard version. It is the ski. So consider snagging some stickers or the hoodies, t-shirts, and long sleeves. It's all linked in the description. If you do snag any of it, tag me on my Instagram so you guys can get gear and sticker shoutouts in the vlogs, but also following the Instagram allows you to just see bonus extra content, but also stay up to date on all my trips so you will know I'm coming to your state and coming to your resort if you're following my Instagram. So follow the Instagram. Now, who is this mountain for? I think it's a great family mountain. Like, honestly, if you live in the area and you want to do a day trip, I don't think it's a sick mountain for staying there and riding. I think it's literally just a really good mountain to like pack up the kids. You're all pretty solid like riders and everything, go there. If you're a decent park rider, like this is a really good park for you as well. So I would say it covers a wide range of skill levels. I even think if you're a beginner, this is a really good mountain for you. So I think Gore covers a wide range of like mainly family, especially family that has like a kid that wants to get good at park, that park rider dude, or that beginner person. They literally, like, I think it covers everything. So that's really good, Gore. So way to be there for everyone. Now, let's put in the scores. Let's count them up. And Gore got his score out of 100. It's 45, which is below average. And it's crazy because Gore is a sick mountain and it's a sick place, but everything about it just came in about average, kind of like there. And with it being one of the bigger ski resorts on the East Coast, maybe I rated it closer to how I rate Colorado, but I don't even think that's true. Like, it just, everything felt so average about it, and so that's why it came in just a little below average. It's still a sick place. It's, once again, it's for the wide range of people. Maybe that's why it didn't have any extremes. It didn't have like the sickest park, but it also didn't have like the dopest chairlifts, and like, you know, it kind of comes in, which is still fine. Average is good. But let me know, do you think Gore is a pretty average mountain? Was that score fair, or was I hard on Gore? Comment down below. This is a conversation. Also, what resort review should I do next? I want to know what you guys are thinking. And also comment down below what ski resort we should go snowboard to next. Like, check out the map. Let me know. You haven't gone here, you should go here. We definitely want to get to over 40 new ski resorts a season so we can get this goal of riding every resort done in the US as quick as possible, because then we can go to a next goal. I'm all about accomplishing goals here on this channel. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe to join the strongest snowboard community on the internet, and I truly believe that when I say it. Our community on this channel is absolutely insane. So subscribe, hang out for a couple of videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And while you're hanging out next to that subscribe button, just smash a like. That helps out a bunch. The more people that smash like, the more other people will see this video, and then the more people that see this video, the more people that know they should come snowboard at Gore Mountain. It's a sick place. It's just not the sickest place. But with that, Team Buckhouse, thank you so much for reviewing a resort with me today. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep evolving. We'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm on top of the ocean, living like life ain't frozen, feeling my feet been chosen for something other than motion, yeah. Mama told me I'ma be somebody. I ain't never gonna need nobody, no, no. I ain't never gonna need nobody, no. This chairlift has hair.